Have you ever wondered why people behave the way they do? It's a question that's puzzled humanity for centuries. The human mind is a complex labyrinth, teeming with mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Today, we're going to navigate through 10 intriguing psychological facts that shape our behavior. From the power of empathy to the illusion of control, each fact will offer a unique glimpse into the workings of our minds. So, buckle up as we delve into the fascinating world of human behavior. First up, did you know humans are naturally wired for empathy? Yes, that's right. We're not just social animals. Our brains have been designed to feel for others. It's all thanks to something called mirror neurons. These special neurons in our brain fire not only when we perform an action, but also when we observe someone else perform the same action. They essentially allow us to mirror the feelings of others, hence the name. So when you see someone laughing or crying, your brain is working overtime, simulating these emotions as if you were experiencing them yourself. This fascinating neurological phenomenon isn't just about feeling happy or sad along with others, though. It's what allows us to understand other people's intentions, predict their actions, and even learn new skills. It's the foundation of our ability to connect, cooperate, and empathize. So when you feel someone else's pain, it's not just a figure of speech, it's neuroscience. Next, let's talk about the halo effect. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon where our overall impression of a person, say if we find them attractive or likable, can influence how we feel about their other traits. It's as if they have a halo around them that casts a glow on everything else about them. For instance, if we think someone is good-looking, we're also more likely to perceive them as intelligent, kind, and funny, even if we don't have solid evidence to back up these assumptions. It's a mental shortcut that our brains take without us even realizing it. This effect is not just confined to individuals. It can also extend to brands, products, and even countries. For example, if you love a particular brand, you're likely to have a positive view of all their products. So, remember, first impressions do matter. The halo effect shows us just how powerful our initial perceptions can be. Ever heard of the term bystander effect? It's a fascinating psychological phenomenon that refers to situations where the presence of others discourages an individual from intervening in an emergency. Imagine this scenario. You're walking down a busy street and you see a person collapse. You'd think that with more people around, the chances of someone stepping in to help would increase, right? Surprisingly, the opposite is true. The more people there are, the less likely any one person is to help. This happens because of a diffusion of responsibility, where everyone thinks someone else will do something, so no one does anything. It's a classic case of too many cooks spoil the broth. But here's the twist. Once someone breaks the ice and steps in, others are more likely to follow suit. So next time you're in a crowd, remember that you have the power to break the bystander effect. Cognitive dissonance, a fancy term for a common experience. When we think about ourselves, we like to believe we're consistent, that our beliefs, attitudes, and actions align perfectly. But life isn't that simple, is it? Enter cognitive dissonance, a psychological concept coined by Leon Festinger in the 1950s. It refers to the mental discomfort we experience when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes. It's like trying to dance to two different beats at the same time. It just feels off. Maybe you're a health enthusiast who just can't resist the occasional donut, or perhaps you're an environmentalist who still takes long showers. These scenarios can create cognitive dissonance, and boy, does it make us squirm. We humans don't like inconsistency, so we strive to reduce this discomfort by changing our beliefs, acquiring new information, or simply denying the conflict. It's a fascinating aspect of human psychology, so it's not just you. We all hate mixed feelings. Confirmation bias, ever fallen into its trap? Now, let's delve into this fascinating psychological phenomenon. Picture this. You're in a room full of books, each containing different perspectives. But you're drawn to the ones that align with your viewpoint, overlooking those that challenge it. This, my friends, is confirmation bias in action. It's our brain's way of maintaining a comfortable status quo by favoring information that confirms our existing beliefs or values. It's like having a selective hearing that tunes out the noises that don't match our internal symphony. It's a survival instinct, really. Our ancestors needed to make quick decisions without the luxury of considering all perspectives. But in today's complex world, this bias can limit our understanding and growth. The key to overcoming this? Embrace the unknown. Seek out differing viewpoints. It's not about proving yourself right, but about gaining a richer understanding of the world around us. So always challenge your beliefs. You might be surprised at what you find. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Ever heard of it? It's a fascinating phenomenon that touches upon the realm of self-perception and competence. Imagine a novice chess player who, after winning a few games, believes they could take on the world champion. Or perhaps a beginner cook who, after successfully preparing a couple of dishes, considers themselves the next Gordon Ramsay. This overconfidence in their abilities is the essence of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The effect is named after psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, who found that people with low ability at a task often overestimate their ability. It's not that they're intentionally arrogant or conceited, but rather they lack the self-awareness to accurately judge their skills. As we climb the mountain of knowledge, we often fail to realize just how vast the landscape of what we don't know really is. The Dunning-Kruger effect serves as a humble reminder that the more we learn, the more we realize how little we know. So it's always good to be humble about our abilities. The power of suggestion, it's more potent than you might think. Imagine a world where your thoughts, feelings, and actions are like puppets on a string, easily swayed and manipulated by the simple power of suggestion. Well, you don't have to imagine it because you're living in it. Yes, that's right. The power of suggestion can subtly weave its way into our minds, shaping our perceptions and decisions, often without us even realizing it. Think of how a simple advertisement can create a thirst for a product you never knew you needed, or a random comment can change your entire mood for the day. That's the power of suggestion at work. It's like a whisper in the wind, nudging you towards a particular thought or action. But remember, not all suggestions have your best interests at heart. They might be a cunning salesman's pitch or a manipulative friend's advice. So think twice before you believe everything you hear. The illusion of control. We all like to believe we are in control. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? To feel as though we hold the reins of the wild horse that is life. But let's delve a bit deeper into this psychological phenomenon. We humans, fascinating creatures that we are, often overestimate our ability to control events. Imagine you're playing a game of dice. You need a high number to win. Somehow you convince yourself that if you shake the dice harder, you'll get a higher number. But we all know that's not how probability works, right? Yet, we persist in this belief. It's our very own illusion of control. This illusion isn't always a bad thing. It can fuel optimism, perseverance, and risk-taking. But it's important to recognize it for what it is, an illusion. To understand that sometimes things just happen, and that's okay. So remember, it's okay not to have control over everything. Ever heard of the placebo effect? Well, it's a fascinating phenomenon that shows just how powerful our minds can be. Imagine you're not feeling well, and you're given a pill. You're told this pill will help you feel better. Funny thing is, this pill is nothing more than a sugar pill. There's no active ingredient in it. It's just a harmless little sweet. But you believe it will help, and voila, you start to feel better. This is the placebo effect in action. Your belief in the treatment, even though it's not medically effective, can cause you to experience an improvement in your condition. It's like your brain is tricking your body into feeling better. This effect isn't just restricted to physical ailments. It can also impact mental health issues like depression and anxiety. So believe in the power of your mind. It can do wonders. Last but not least, the power of social influence. Ever wonder why you sometimes do things that seem out of character? Well, it's likely because of the people around you. That's right, our behavior is greatly influenced by the company we keep. We're social creatures by nature, and we instinctively adapt our behavior to fit in with our group. This is why trends are so prevalent. If everyone is doing something, we feel a powerful urge to do it too. It's not just about wanting to be liked or accepted. It's about survival. From an evolutionary perspective, those who were able to adapt and fit in with their group had a higher chance of survival. This social influence extends beyond just our actions. It can shape our thoughts, our beliefs, and even our desires. It's a powerful force that subtly dictates our behavior, often without us even realizing it. So choose your company wisely. They have more influence on you than you might think. So there you have it, 10 intriguing psychological facts about human behavior. From our hardwired empathy to the power of suggestion, the surprising influence of the halo effect to the illusion of control. We've navigated the treacherous waters of cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias, examined the Dunning-Kruger effect and the bystander phenomenon, and even delved into the power of placebos and social influence. So, Keep these facts in mind next time you're trying to understand why people behave the way they do. Thanks for watching!